This is lesson 6 for the polynomial expressions unit, and this is the last lesson. What we'll be doing in this one is finding missing values. So this can get a little tricky, so make sure you're paying attention and taking good notes and pausing and reflecting when you need to. Okay, so for our first example here, we want to find the value of W. So this is some number right here, we just don't know what it is. So what we're going to do is, for all of these, I like to kind of group up my like terms on both sides and see what's happening. So what we really have going on here, we're adding these. So I'm just going to rewrite this without the parentheses. Okay, then on this side, I want to get my x's together. So that's those two. Remember, this is some number, some coefficient. So 4x plus wx. And then I can really combine these. 7 minus 5 is a positive 2. Okay, so if I subtract 2 from both sides, you can see that those cancel. So 4x plus wx is equal to 9x. Subtract 4x from both sides. So we are told that wx is equal to 5x. So in this case, we can see that the coefficient must be 5. So w is a 5. Now that totally works. Some of my students like to use guess and check, especially if this is like on the keystones and it's a multiple choice question. Absolutely. If you want to, just look at your 4 options and substitute the number in for the variable and see which one works. We don't have that option with these. All right, example 2. First thing I'm going to do is rewrite this after I distribute a -1 here. So 6x squared minus mx minus 3 minus 7x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals the right-hand side. Okay, my x squareds. 6x squared minus 7x squared is -1x squared, which is perfect because that's what I have on this side. So it's all working out so far. Then my regular x's, -mx plus 3x. I'm just gonna put those in their own little world here. And that should equal 1 when I get to it. And then here, oops, that was part of this one, sorry. -3 plus 2 is -1, which we have right there, right? -x squared plus x minus 1. Now I can cancel them from both sides, like those would cancel and those would cancel. And we are left with -mx plus 3x is equal to x. If you want to, you can put the 1 here. Subtract 3x from each side. So -mx is equal to -2x. So m must be a 2 because we already have the negative sign, we already have the x, so that must be a 2. Be careful that you don't put -2. All right, I hope that wasn't too confusing. If so, rewind, watch it again. All right, again, I'm going to rewrite without the minus sign. 5x plus 5y minus ax minus 6y minus 4x minus by is equal to 8x minus 6y. That sounds complicated, doesn't it? This time we're looking for 2 variables, a and b. So what I'm going to do is, let's combine like terms here. Let's get everything that has an x together. So those. So 5x and I'm just going to use parentheses for some visual separation. Minus ax minus 4x. Those are my x's. Plus, let's do the same thing with the y's. 5y minus 6y minus by, and then equals that side. Okay. So really, since this part has the x's, it would have to be equal to 8x. And since this part has the y's, it would have to be equal to this part. So I'm going to rewrite it that way. So I'm going to say that 5x minus ax minus 4x has to equal 8x. And we'll separate this. And I'm going to do the same things with the y's. 5y minus 6y minus by must be equal to negative 6y. Okay. 5x minus 4x is 1x. Subtract 1x from both sides. So negative ax is equal to 7x. So if I divide both sides by negative 1, right, we get negative 7 here. Oh, sorry, I didn't move that. I was down here. And if negative a equals positive 7, then positive a equals negative 7. All right, with the y's, 5y minus 6y is negative 1y minus by is equal to negative 6y. Add 1y to both sides. So negative by is equal to negative 5y. So if negative b is equal to negative 5, then positive b is equal to positive 5. Divide both sides by negative 1. So negative 7 and positive 5. Okay. Example 4. The product of two binomials is shown below. What is the value of k? So let's start by multiplying. We distribute the 2x first. So that's 12x squared minus 10x, and then we distribute the k, plus 6kx minus 5k equals the other side. Again, if this were a multiple choice question, the easier route may be guess and check. Guess an answer, substitute it in, and see if it works. Unfortunately, this is not multiple choice. Now, the 12x squared worked out. So if I were to subtract 12x squared from each side, those would cancel. These are the terms that have just x. So they must equal that. So negative 10x plus 6kx. So that part must be equal to 2x. Likewise, this part right here that doesn't have an x should be equal to this part here that doesn't have an x. So negative 5k is equal to negative 10. Now this one is the easier equation to solve, but I'm going to do both just to kind of double check to see if I'm correct. And I get k equals 2. Let me try over here. Let's add 10x to each side. 6kx is equal to 12x. If you divide both sides by 6, you get kx is equal to 2x. So again, k must be equal to 2. Okay. Now some of you may be wondering why I'm not dividing both sides by x to make that cancel, and dividing by a variable is usually a bad idea, because what if it's 0? You can't divide by 0. All right, let's try example 5. First thing, let's subtract all of these terms by distributing a negative 1. So 7x squared plus fx minus 7 minus gx squared plus 3x plus 5 is equal to 2x squared minus 2. Okay, let's get the x squared terms together first. 7x squared minus gx squared. And then my x terms plus fx plus 3x. And then my constants, negative 7 plus 5 is negative 2. So if we were to add 2 to both sides, those would cancel. So that means this x squared part should equal this x squared part. Let's write that down. 7x squared minus gx squared is equal to 2x squared. And also this part right here, fx plus 3x equals 0. If you look on this side, there is no x term. There are 0 x's. All right, we're going to start, it really doesn't matter. For one, we have to find g, the other one we have to find f. So I will subtract 7x squared from both sides. So negative gx squared is equal to negative 5x squared. So when I divide both sides by negative 1, we find that g is 5. Subtract 3x from both sides. So fx is equal to negative 3x. F is negative 3. These are crazy, aren't they? They're kind of out there. Okay, here we have another one. Let's distribute the 5x. So this would be 5vx squared minus 5x. Distribute the 4 plus 4vx minus 4. Okay, my x squared term on this side should equal my x squared term on this side. So 5vx squared is equal to 35x squared. Likewise, my x terms on this side should equal my x term on this side. So negative 5x plus 4vx is equal to 23x. And negative 4, of course, is equal to negative 4. So again, I don't have to do both, but by doing both and I get the same answer for both of them, I would feel pretty confident that I'm correct. So over here, if I divide both sides by 5, we get vx squared is equal to 7x squared. So v must be equal to 7. Let's just double check over here. Add 5x to each side. 4vx is equal to 28x. Divide both sides by 4. Vx is equal to 7x. Again, v must be equal to 7. Wonderful. There we go. Okay, so I know that was complicated. So if you need to rewatch this or come see me, definitely do so, especially if you need help with the practice problems.